everyone, this is me, Jyotika Bedi. I'm the founder of Happiness is Love. We make relationships better. Here's what makes positive parenting different and why experts say that it's one of the best parenting styles. I love to learn and share, and that's why I'm making this video, because I'm a mother of 3 and I understand how difficult parenting is. It's one of the hardest and the most challenging things in the whole world. These days, there is no shortage of parenting styles. But after working with thousands of families for more than 20 years now, I have found that positive parenting is one of the most effective and my personal favorite. You want to learn the tricks, you want to learn the tools so that you can learn, you can grow alongside your child. Unlike authoritarian parenting, which places high expectation on children with little responsiveness, or uninvolved parenting, there is little nurturance or guidance. No judgment, we all are work and learn, and parenting really starts with self-awareness. Positive parenting is an empathy-based approach that involves techniques such as encouragement and problem solving rather than shouting, screaming, shaming, or showing hostility to our children. Well, I've been guilty of the same. It's not like I'm a perfect parent. There is no perfect parenting. But as parents, it is our prime goal to learn alongside our children, because we are all lifelong learners. In fact, studies have found that when parents resort to constant yelling or nagging, and sometimes even label themselves as yellers, they typically end up feeling frustrated, angry, and then guilty. The kids in turn also feel frustrated and angry, and the cycle continues. In the end, very little changes happen and the cycle just keeps repeating. So the next question is, what really is positive parenting, so that we can all practice it? So the most important here is that we need to understand positive parents practice positive parenting by not being harsh, by not using punishment to correct problematic behavior. Rather, positive parenting encourages parents to catch their children when they are good instead of focusing on just bad behavior. Positive parenting proactively fulfills their children's emotional needs, their own needs, and makes sure that they engage in positive interaction, which can prevent a great deal of bad behavior from happening in the first place. I'm learning too. It's not that because I make these videos and I'm a psychologist and a parent, it's not like I have figured it all. There are times that I fall, I fail, I make mistakes, but I know that there is an effective way, and positive parenting is the way. So what does it really feel like? Let me give you an example. Basically, spending one-on-one time and delighting in those moments of connection with our child is positive parenting. Praising specific actions through words instead of using rewards or bribes is positive parenting. Recognizing that parenting can be stressful and focus on what you can control, which is yourself. Providing consistent, age-appropriate consequences and guidelines is positive parenting. Using positive interactions to correct problematic behavior instead of yelling, nagging, or shaming. Walking towards a balance of meeting your needs and the needs of your child. A very prominent psychologist, a positive psychologist specializing in child therapy, says that positive parents are constantly catching their children being good, giving them more positive feedback instead of just focusing on behavior that needs correction. Some parents worry that positive parenting is just too much fluff, arguing that children won't learn to interpret and react to negative emotions if parents don't help them see it, which may not serve them later in life. If you're thinking this, you are not alone. However, psychologists have found that positive parenting can promote children's confidence and provide them with the tools to make good, healthy choices. It also nurtures their self-esteem, their creativity, belief in the future, and ability to get along with others. As parents, we all make mistakes. I am included too. And we lose our cool because we're not superhumans, and that's okay too. The best thing that positive parenting presents is an ideal opportunity to apologize to our kids when we make mistakes, to claim our flaws, to make sure that we acknowledge when we go wrong, and apologize by modeling how we also sometimes mess up. So I would like to share 5 ways to practice positive parenting from this moment on, because it's really helped me and I'd love to help you as well. Spending one-on-one time together. Quality time is love to our children. Spending regular quality time with our children and modeling good behavior is by far the best thing we can do to help them build their self-confidence and give them the tools to have healthy relationships. Kids are hardwired to need positive attention and emotional connection. Relationships are about emotional connections. When they don't receive it, they seek it out in negative ways, and parents are then forced, or they are faced with power struggles and meltdowns and tantrums. It only takes 10 to 15 minutes of individual time in a day to see how much positive attention are we giving our children. I have 3, so I'm cognizant. I have to make sure that I take out 10 to 15 minutes with each child individually so that he or she feels the love, he or she feels that I am present with the child, giving my one-on-one time without any distraction and just actively listening to our children. So we can take out, and it is, parenting is really delighting in those moments of connection, which helps us create a deeper and more meaningful bond with our children. Number 2, set whens and then rules. Setting clear expectation is a core aspect of positive parenting. I recommend using the when-then method to encourage better behavior during the most challenging times of your child's day. Explain to your child that when the yucky part of a dreaded task is done, then the more enjoyable things can happen. For example, they can use their iPad or play outside after their morning routine is complete. Brushing their teeth, getting dressed, eating breakfast, if there's enough time before the bus arrives. Stick to this practice and your kids will quickly learn to move through the routine on their own. No nagging required, right? And this will help with early childhood so that when your child becomes a teen, you have already set the when-then rule, which is very, very effective and very, very easy to follow. Number 3, say no to rewards. What that means is, studies have found that kids who are rewarded a lot or rewarded often are likely to lose interest in an activity because they've been rewarded all the time. In fact, it's very important to realize that kids who are rewarded often are likely to not just lose interest in the activity they've been rewarded for, whether it's music practice or playing nicely with a sibling. They become more interested in the rewards, meaning you may have to keep up the rewards to keep maintaining the same quality of behavior. So using encouragement is a better way to bring out the best in our children. But avoid phrases that point to their personality as you're the best player on the team and you're the only one who's so smart. Instead, encourage the specific act. If your kid shows concern for someone who's sad, for example, point out, praise what they did right. That was very nice of you, Arjun, to ask your friend if she's okay. Emphasize how the other person may have appreciated that kind gesture. So point out, praise, encourage character strengths in our children. Catch them when they're being kind, caring, helpful, loving, organized. Number 4, say yes to appropriate consequences. When a child starts acting up, enforcing natural consequences can turn poor choices into learning opportunities. Just make sure that the child is actually capable of the expected behavior. The consequence is fair and respectful. You introduce the consequence in advance so that the child knows of the consequences and is aware without making it a power struggle. And without making it a punishment. For example, if your child refuses to, let's say, put on the rainbows on a rainy morning, explain the natural consequences. Their socks will get soaked and their feet will feel uncomfortable. When we explain, it helps our children self-regulate instead of coming from a place of authority and saying, don't do this and stop doing this. We have to stop, pause, explain, share, and then eventually involve the child as well. This allows your child to choose whether or not to wear boots and learn on their own what the right decision really is. Number 5, focus on what you can control, which is yourself. You can't always control your child's behavior, but you can always control your own response. This work has to be done by us parents, and I know it's hard work, it's challenging, but it is the most rewarding work we will ever do, because the greatest gift I believe we can give our children is our own emotional health and well-being. This mindset can help kids take on responsibility that you otherwise have to nag them about, like cleaning or doing home chores or cleaning out their lunch box. For example, you can say, I'm happy to pack your school lunch, Ayana, as long as your lunch box has been emptied and cleaned. Then help them find ways to remember these responsibilities and follow through, perhaps with a visual clue like a sticky note or a spot in the kitchen designed for the lunch box. And if your child has to throw together their own lunch, it will be a wonderful learning opportunity. Positive parenting is all about fostering respectful relationships built on clear expectations. When children feel a strong connection with their parents, they're more likely to behave appropriately and grow up to be resilient, confident, caring, and responsible adults. I hope this video was useful to you. If you're struggling with any aspect of your life, you can comment on the box below. We are here because we care and we believe together we are building ourselves, each other, and a better future for our children. Keep smiling, keep shining, keep inspiring.